Hi, my name is Alicia McMichael, and this is Mermaid Yoga TV. This is a new educational channel from beautiful Hawaii where I will be educating on some of the most amazing new topics and tools in consciousness and ways to activate the most amazing joy and happiness that you could ever experience, as well as ways to reduce your aging, to look good, to feel good. And today we're also going to be talking about Reiki. We're going to be talking about a little bit of the background on Reiki and ways that you can apply it in your everyday life. So first, let's begin our TV show today with starting with our breath work, which is the first essential part of yoga, which is our prana, our life force energy. So go ahead and take one hand and bring down 2 fingers, and then place one hand on the right nostril and inhale on the left. Take your focus to your third eye. And then taking the left 2 fingers and then exhaling out of the right. Inhaling on the right side. Taking your focus to your third eye. And exhaling on the left. And left side inhale. Taking your focus to your third eye. And exhale on the right side. Last time, inhale on right. And take your focus to your third eye. And exhale on the left. Beautiful. So prana and our life force energy is our breath. We could do so many different types of breath work. Kundalini Yoga is breath of fire, alternate nose breathing. It helps to balance out the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So we can use our breath to literally breathe into all the cells in the body. And if you ever have like tightness, or maybe some type of disease, you can literally heal yourself. You can allow your breath to go into the cells of your body. It can release out any trauma out of the body, any tightness, and really just, your breath is just the most important aspect of you. So how awesome is that? So today we're going to be talking about some really amazing tools, such as some of the tools from Access Consciousness, and we're also going to be talking about Reiki and Kundalini Yoga. So first, let's start with Access Consciousness. This modality has significantly changed my life. I look and I feel younger than I ever have, and I have completely healed myself of any traumatic experience I have ever experienced before. So Access Consciousness, the mantra is, all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. The founder and co-founder are Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Here, who travel around the world facilitating powerful change, facilitating healing for bodies, and just really getting this work out into the world in a beautiful way. So I'm so grateful to bring forth the education of Access Consciousness. So basically, there are 32 energy fields on the head, and these 32 energy fields can be activated by having your loved one or your friend or your brother or your sister or coworker touch these points on the head. So what happens when you get your bars run are absolute miracles. Basically, you are literally running a marathon, but you're laying still for about an hour, or you could be sitting and receiving the bars. So the bars are basically different points. The first one is there's 3 fingers here. One hand goes in the back of the head. So you could also run your own bars if you'd like, but literally you're running energy from your feet to the top of the head. And then next, you're going to be running energy from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And then next, you're going to open up your heart channel. So if you're working with another person, you'd want to connect your hands to one another and basically activate and open up the energy that way. And then the rest of the points for access bars are located on the head. So we have the implant bands, which are like right here at the bottom by the occipital ridge. So the implant bands, they hold on to all of our unconscious thoughts, feelings, and emotions of everything that we pick up from the collective consciousness. This also includes things that we may have learned as children that we're still running on these programs of lack and limitation and struggle and disease and pain and suffering. So basically in a bar session, you're going to be activating these 32 energy fields on the head, and you're going to be running a clearing statement. And the clearing statement sounds like this. So all of the lack, limitation, struggle, all of the disease, and all of the fear existing in the world, I now destroy and uncreate times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So the clearing statement is basically a mantra. It's taking about 5 pages of verbiage that's saying, please go to every time I've ever aligned and agreed with these point of views. So how awesome is that? And I'll show you the next point. So the next one's called Money Control Creativity. You place your fingers on your head right here, and you touch these points, or you could touch them for someone else, or someone else can touch them for you as well. So money control creativity, it's like, what have we bought into in this reality that has been creating the lack and limitation? Like, how much have we been controlled by systems and structures and, you know, for so long about money? Like, what if we had no more limitations with money? Like, what if we don't have any point of views around it? Like, oh, I have to work and save up for my entire life in order to choose to receive something. Like, what if you could function from no limitation, from choosing and receiving with ease and grace? And what if you could ask the universe to fully support you? So what would it be like if you could ask for $1 million? And how easy could it be to receive that? So basically what you want to do is you want to clear out all the limitations of everything you've ever learned that doesn't allow you to instantly know that you could choose to receive $1 million with ease and grace. So everything that doesn't allow it, we can run the clearing statement. Destroy and uncreate everything that doesn't allow it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How does it get any easier than this? And what is possible now? So these questions we can ask at any point in time. If we ever feel stuck in our lives, we can start asking questions. And the questions will empower us to know what there is to know, to access the truth, because the truth always feels light, and whatever doesn't feel light is always going to feel heavy. So how much lightness can we be? How much truth can we realize within ourselves and the world around us? And how does it get any easier than this? So the next point is called Aging Toaster. So it's literally you're lining the hands like this, and they're going on top of the head. So one time I had my bars run by an amazing facilitator named Donna DeGudos out of San Diego, California. And she basically, I literally woke up off the table for like after a 1-hour session, and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I feel like a newborn child. Like, I literally went back to the point of creation of like when I was born, and it was like everything I ever learned, like all the point of views, all the, like everything was just like erased in a way. And it was like so amazing because I realized like an ultimate receiving, like it's like being the newborn child, like, you know, allowing people to love and nurture you completely. And so there's just so much more around that, but it was just such a cool experience. And then I moved here to Hawaii in January, and I was like, okay, I'm going to reverse my age because I want to be 21 forever, like forever 21. Now, I spent most of my 20s trying to be like 50, like running boardroom tables, like, meeting with Congress and senators and like creating such powerful change in the world by getting these tools into the government to facilitate healing for military veterans and our families and so on and so forth. So, how awesome is that you can literally reverse your age? So you can clear your limiting point of views, like, oh, I'm hitting a certain age, so I need to do certain things. Like, I need to get wrinkles, and I need to, like, look old, or I need to, like, get married or have kids, or, all these things that we've been programmed that we're supposed to be, according to the American dream, or according to maybe the consciousness of everything around us. So what if you could choose to reverse your age through this point called Aging Toaster? How cool is that? So the next one we're going to move to is called, joy, sadness. So you basically are going to touch points like here. So you're noticing all these points are on the head, okay? So do you ever notice how much we're trying to figure things out? And what if figuring things out doesn't actually work anymore? Like, what if we could go to the root of the issue and then destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And then, like, what if we could literally run the bars and clear all of our limiting point of views, thoughts, feelings, emotions, judgments, contractions, conclusions, and destroy and uncreate all that, and then open up to infinite possibility and become space, like bigger than the size of the earth. So on the count of 3, expand out. 1, 2, 3, expand out. Woo! And experience the consciousness of space for a moment here. So what would it be like if you could receive from everything existing on the earth? Like, what if you could receive from the trees, the plants, the people, everything existing in totality? Like, what would it be like if you would stop judging yourself and stop judging everything else around you, and you could just receive infinitely from everything? How does it get any easier than this? And what else is possible now? So every time we ask questions, we basically are opening up to the infinite possibilities. So next we're going to move to the next point, which is called peace and calm. So it's, imagine like you have like an elf ear. So it's going to be like right at the tip, like right here. So this point is called peace, calm, and gratitude. And I'd like to speak about gratitude. About a year ago, I lost a very dear friend that I think many of you might know. His name is Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I spent the last year of his life working with him on Reiki education. And him and I both are military veterans. So we just have, had so much compassion for wanting to really make a difference in the lives of those who have served for our country, and really share the blessings with them of yoga and selfless service, and the teachings that go beyond that of like Reiki education, which I'm going to share about today, and these tools of access consciousness. So what I really appreciated about working with Dr. Wayne Dyer was that he spent his entire life studying so many books and gurus and teachings and blessings, and in the time that I worked with him, I just felt such supreme levels of divine love. And this energy of divine love, it just blessed my heart so much, and I'm just so grateful that I got a chance to work with him. And what I do know is that he is just one of the most amazing people ever. And I think just like the last 2 days, I was just crying because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I actually got a chance to work with this guy. And so, today I'm just like shining in gratitude for the presence that he, brought to me, the gifts. And so today's episode, we're going to be talking about Reiki. And this is the first time that I'm coming out and educating on Reiki. I've experienced a lot of controversy growing up in a Christian family. And, I heard so many judgments around, Reiki is only practiced by Jesus. And I said, Jesus wants us all to learn the power of miracles. He wants us all to facilitate how to heal ourselves. And so I'm really just so grateful for Dr. Wayne Dyer and for his encouragement in my life, for just really raising me up into the world and saying, you know what, Alicia, go out there and teach Reiki, go out there and teach, Kundalini Yoga and Access Consciousness and all these tools that can really allow people to have tool belts that they can literally like pull out a tool and say, okay, I'm going to activate my bars, or I'm not feeling so good. I'm going to ask an empowering question to create change right away. Or maybe you actually went to the doctor and they said, you have a disease and you're going to die. So guess what the bars does? It clears all of those point of views. Because as soon as the point of view clears out of your reality and your existence, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm actually going to choose to live. Cool. Oh, like what if the doctor says, oh, you have this percentage to live? Like, you don't have a limiting time. Guess what? The power of miracles, my friend Axel Love from the Course in Miracles and Marianne Williamson, they are just so amazing because they really speak about the power of miracles and how we can instantly heal ourselves. We can instantly choose to remove the cancers out of our body because guess what? None of it's real. Like the fear, disease, none of it's real. So what I also know about gratitude is that when we shine in gratitude, when we, experience the blessings of, all the medical systems, all the religions, when we say we're so grateful for everything they teach, and in this present moment, we'd like to bring forth the knowledge of miracles for all of humanity with ease and grace. So it's just so amazing. In working with Axel Love, who is also in San Diego and hopefully will visit us in Hawaii soon, he teaches us that, our solar plexus, which is located right here in the body, our solar plexus is our light that is connected to God. It's connected to Source. And in his teachings, he shares that, like, everything in this world are, we're all really sleeping angels. And, everyone's kind of vertical until you wake up and you're connected to Source. You're connected to love. You're connected to God. And whatever you call God. Like, there's so many religions in the world. I do not judge anyone for what they call God. I just love them because, they learned something as a child and they stay with it, or maybe, they became a born again Christian. Whatever people are practicing in their religious faith, I'm just so grateful because they're bringing more love and light into the world in whatever they choose. So how much gratitude can we be, and how much can we get out of judgment of one another for what we're choosing to call God? So we can apply the clearing statement to clear and remove all these separations. Maybe some wars are going on in the world because people's egos are saying, my God's right, your God's wrong, my God's right. So let's just destroy and uncreate it all. Cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. How does it get any easier than this, and what is possible now? In what energy, space, and consciousness can we and our bodies be to open up to infinite consciousness of oneness with all, with ease and grace? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. How does it get any easier than this, and what is possible now? Okay, so let's go ahead and move to another point. We'll move to let's see, circle manifestation. So it's kind of like you're wearing a little hammock. and so what you want to do is just hold this point. So this is going to actualize the practice. And so in Access Consciousness, they don't say, basically the word actualization is manifestation, but even shifted into a little bit further of an actualized state. So this is the circle of manifestation, actualization. So it basically takes all the clearing statements that we've talked about, and it also takes all the questions, and it allows us to really just kind of finish the practice, like the bars, points. So the cool thing is too, like, you can literally lay down for an hour and receive a bar session or give a bar session, and at the same time, it's like if you're giving or if you're receiving, it's the same thing. So there is no difference between giving and receiving. And one of the things that I like to share in Reiki is called the infinity symbol of golden liquid light. And it's a very beautiful thing. It's like very angelic. Okay, so imagine like from your spirit, your heart, all the way. Okay, so I'll just touch my heart. So imagine, go ahead and touch your heart too, okay? So imagine from your heart, you're experiencing golden liquid light, and it's an infinity symbol. So everywhere you're giving, you're receiving. So there's no more like, oh, I give too much and I don't receive enough, yada, yada, yada. So let's destroy and uncreate all that, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, pog, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then let's function from giving and receiving as the same energy. And, okay, so just go ahead and just feel into your spirit and your heart. And then send out golden liquid light of infinity symbols to all your friends, to all your family. Now to all sentient beings, to everything and everyone existing on the earth, sending out golden liquid light and just allowing the energy of love to connect from your heart to everything existing. And by the way, there is a soul existing within the plants, within people, within the mountains, the trees, animals. There's a spirit existing within almost everything. So what if we could experience giving and receiving dynamically, and we could start to just be in a really beautiful space of big love, like expansive love, where everything you experience is love? What would that be like? Okay, so next I'm going to move into our Reiki portion. So for Reiki education, a little bit of background on it. I attended yoga teacher training school in Nicaragua in 2009, right around the time of the Mayan prophecy and the shift of consciousness, where everyone was going, we don't know if the world's going to end or not. Okay, it wasn't about the world ending, it was about the shift of Kundalini energy from the Tibetan pyramids down to Lake Titicaca in South America. So the shift of Kundalini energy basically rebalanced the earth in our shift of evolution, as well as within each and every one of us, we are all rebalancing. So we're basically just catching up with the earth. So in this yoga teacher training program in Guatemala, or Nicaragua rather, I basically experienced Reiki for the first time. And what it felt like to me was electricity. It was like I just felt this energy moving through my body, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. What is this? And why have I never learned about it before? Like, what is this amazing energy? And I'm with about 15 women that are all, studying yoga. And it was really neat because I grew up Christian, and for the first time, my spirit woke up, and I knew that I experienced soul work of basically experiencing myself in other lifetimes. And so I knew that I was an infinite being. I knew that there was more than just this life. It wasn't like, oh, it's just this life and then I'm going to get judged by God and go to heaven or hell. No, it's like right now in this life, I can choose heaven or I can choose hell. So it's all about, for me, in my own experience, it's been about my internal alchemy of myself, of experiencing paradise within, heaven within my own spirit, and then seeing that in the world around me. So in this experience I had in Central America, it was amazing. It was all divinely guided. I just got out of the military. I just started this nonprofit to educate on healing therapies for PTSD. And little did I know the entire world would be going through a shift. And, many authors and speakers have spoken about this amazing shift, including Dr. Wayne Dyer, who has a book and a movie, which you all should go watch if you haven't seen it yet. Basically in Central America, I experienced Reiki, and since then I went on to study with my Reiki teacher named Fred Smalley, who is living in San Diego, who is very proud of me for bringing forth the knowledge of Reiki. So I went through about 2 sets of Reiki attunements, lineages. I studied Karuna Reiki and Yasui Reiki, levels 1, 2, and 3 in both. And then I went on to receive attunements in Egyptian symbols, which were activating the field called Merkaba light body activation. So I did really well with it, and I'm really excited to bring forth the knowledge and the wisdom to share it with the world. Because if we could all start embodying these teachings and practicing them, how much more amazing would this world be? So some of the basics of Reiki are, what does Reiki mean? Reiki means spiritual wisdom. So what if you could access your own spiritual wisdom of you? What would that be like? not what everyone else around you is speaking about to you, and not about all the marketing and all the ways that we're feeding into, everything else around us. But what if you could just access your own spirit, your own truth of who you are? So Reiki is spiritual wisdom, and it's our connection to our guidance, our spiritual teachers that are working with each and every one of us. Okay, so Reiki. So basically, there are the chakra systems. Okay, so you can't see them, but they are existing, and in some governments, they can literally take pictures to see if people have activated light bodies or not, Merkaba light bodies. But basically, with Reiki, this system actually heals PTSD. By the way, this is one of the ways how I have healed myself of experiencing trauma in this lifetime. Or maybe other lifetimes too, who knows. So basically, Reiki, so basically there's like Crown Chakra, which is above the head. There's the third eye chakra. So it's an invisible energy center, and literally you can't see it, but you can tune into the vibrational energies existing within the chakras. And today I'm going to teach you about the different Reiki symbols, okay? So this is called third eye, okay? And the color purple. This here is called throat chakra, and there's aspects in each chakra system to basically, like in our bodies, like we may have like energy blockages, so we can literally clear these out and heal ourselves. Okay, the next one is called Heart Chakra. I'll make a heart. And the next one is the solar plexus, color yellow, and the next one is the sacral chakra, which is our creative energy center. And then the root chakra at the base of the spine is our root chakra. And this is color red, and it's really connected a lot with the earth and our roots and grounding. Okay, so let's move through today, through each chakra system. And one thing I like to do is, it's kind of like a nice cleanse, kind of like taking a shower or like standing under a waterfall. But you can literally experience the cleansing through each chakra system by connecting and revitalizing with the spirit of God consciousness or divine spirit, or whichever word you choose for God. So let's just go into surrender for a moment, and let's close our eyes for just a few moments here, okay? So let's all just shift into deep surrender to our highest calling and our soul purposes for this lifetime, for being on the earth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Taking another inhale through the nose and opening the mouth, exhale. And one more, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Okay, gently opening the eyes. Okay, so now we're going to connect with the Crown Chakra, and we're going to ask to revitalize and re-energize the Crown Chakra. And the symbols are Shakure, Seiheki, Hansen Zen Shinen, and Daikaimu. So these four symbols, which you can look them up online, and I will also post them on my social media channels. So go ahead and check that out through like Instagram or Facebook. I'm pretty much linked up through all these different channels. So basically the Crown Chakra, let's go ahead and send in the Shakure, Sahaki, Hansen Zen Shinen, Daikaimu, and activating our Crown Chakra, revitalizing the energy, and pulling through clear light energy through the Crown Chakra with ease and grace. Okay, next we're going to move to the third eye. In the third eye chakra, we're going to revitalize and re-energize and cleanse through Shakure, Sahaki, Hansen Zen Shinen, and Daikaimu. Okay, now we move to the throat chakra, and we revitalize, re-energize, resynchronize, and cleanse and clear out the throat chakra. And we could also call in the color of blue, which is the color of blue can come into the throat chakra and cleanse and clear out any blockages, anything like that from this lifetime or other lifetimes. as infinite beings, anything we've ever experienced that might have created a blockage here, so we can just completely release it and surrender. Cool. Okay, so the next chakra is called the Heart Chakra. So we're going to go ahead and cleanse and clear out and completely heal our spirit and our soul by accessing diamond light energy. So go ahead and feel and experience diamond light energy coming through the Heart Chakra and clearing and cleansing and transforming, transcending, transmuting all energies through Shakurei, Seiheki, Hansen, Zen, Shonen, Daikaimu. So these 4 symbols can cleanse, clear, transform, transcend, transmute all energies with ease and grace through the Heart Chakra. And then go ahead and feel your heart just expanding out to the size of the earth with ease and grace. Beautiful. And moving now to the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is the color yellow, and we now cleanse, clear, transform, transcend, transmute everything with ease and grace into the power of God consciousness, spiritual wisdom, and calling upon the Reiki symbols of Shakurei, Seiheki, Hansen, Zen, Shonen, and Daikaimu. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Cool. So the next symbol is called, the next chakra is called the Sarasvati. It's the sacral chakra. So it's located like right here, kind of like right on the abdomen. So this energy center, we can cleanse, clear, transform, transcend, transmute all energy through God consciousness, accessing the energy of light and clear light, diamond light energy. So this is the energy of creation. So Shakurei, Seiheki, Hansen, Zen, Shonen, Daikaimu. Okay, and then next let's move down to the root chakra. This is our grounding force. This is how we really stay connected to the earth. So we can literally bring through the power of heaven to earth, which is another Reiki symbol that I could share. And so the power of bringing heaven to earth is really connecting with, so the chakra systems go up past the 7. It goes all the way up to the heavens, to the angelic realms. So connect to the angelic realms and then bring down the light of God all the way down into the root chakra, and then send deep roots, like imagine you're a tree, and send deep roots from the root chakra down into the earth, and then connect this energy into the core of the center of the earth, into the theta frequency. And so through this, you can literally energetically become a complete beaming energy of light and love and joy. So how does it get any better than this? And how grateful can we be to be just completely cleansed in this waterfall of diamond light energy? Like my business coach, Bill Walsh, one of my business coaches, Bill Walsh, says, make it rain like diamonds. Oh, and Win University. Yeah, so make it rain. It's like, imagine that now, like, so in Reiki, it's like everything is really, it's like you can't see it, but you have to believe. Because if you believe, then it will actually happen. So how much can you believe in yourself? And how much can you believe right now that you can experience diamonds just raining on top of you, like energetically, and cleansing your spirit and just washing away all the old emotional energies of yesterday, all the consciousness and all the chaos in the world. Like, what if you could experience it all as like love? What if you could experience it all as joy and happiness? Like, would you be willing to choose that and be the alchemist that you truly be? And so alchemy, what is alchemy? Alchemy is literally experiencing something, like maybe something has so much fear in it and you literally experience it as love. So what is that like? It's like, okay, maybe in the ancient times with like leprechauns, they were like, boom, like turning like silver into gold. Okay, so imagine you're an alchemist and imagine you could like all of a sudden turn your whole body into like golden energy or diamonds or clear light energy. Okay, so some of you might be coming up with this judgment that this seems a little woo-woo, which I've heard before with Reiki. Okay, it's because you can't really measure Reiki. Like scientists, they'll be like, I'd like to see, I gotta figure this out, like A plus B equals C. And it's like, okay, with magic, with miracles, with Reiki, with, how do you actually describe it or explain it? Like, all you can do is just have the experience and go, okay, cool, I don't have this disease anymore. I healed myself. How cool is that? And what if you could reverse your age? And what if you could just like drop all your weight and like all your stories and all your emotions and everything you've been holding on to your entire life? And what if none of it's even true? Like, what if it's all just a lie that you bought into? So one of the access tools, so I'll just go back to lesson number 1, which is the access consciousness tools. So what if you could destroy and uncreate all the lies that you've ever bought into and all the manipulations? And then one of the tools is return to sender with love and consciousness attached. And the clearing statement is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So how does it get any easier than this? And what is possible now? And what energy, space, and consciousness can we in our bodies be to experience oneness in totality with everything with ease and grace? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so I'd like to share a little bit more about my friend Axel Love and the Course in Miracles and what he shares and teaches about and what I experienced. So his spirit guide that he works with is, one of them is Jesus Christ. And I experienced this profound experience. It was like I experienced Jesus and all these like ascended master teachers. By the way, Jesus is in Yogananda's temple, so I think they're pretty good friends. I love you, Yogananda and Jesus. So in the teachings from the Course in Miracles, it's basically sharing that we're all really earth angels. And one of the teachings of Reiki, it goes right along with this, because it's like we're all really Reiki angels. We're all really love. It's like, why are we really here on this earth? Like, to realize ourselves, to realize love. So, so what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to be the energy, space, and consciousness of contribution with ease and grace? How does it get any easier than this? And what is possible now? So imagine that we're all really like that American Medical Association symbol. It's like that you see like the Kundalini, it's like the snake of energy, right? So imagine that we can all have activated Kundalini energy going through our bodies, which Kundalini energy, as we know, is the fountain of youth. It's activating that osmosis, that energy that is basically released when the newborn child is born. So I absolutely love Kundalini Yoga. I practice it every day. I'm like walking around Waikiki like activating my energy and just like feeling so much happiness and joy. It's like taking all the pains and sufferings of the world and like transmuting it all, like, ooh, let's just be joyful today. Let's be happy today. Let's experience like profound miracles beyond our wildest imaginations and beyond. So how does it get any easier than this? And what is possible now? Okay, so basically with the American Medical Association symbol, it's like the snake of energy, and then you also see the wings, right? So that's basically our angel wings that we all have. And like, it was so fascinating because one thing that Axel Love shared with me was that he was like, you even see people that are like homeless and they're just like these angels, like they're just giving us a message. And I was like, wow, like how could he like basically train himself to know that like everything existing on the earth has a purpose and everyone's choosing exactly what they're choosing, and that's what their story is, right? So how empowering is it to know that what we choose for ourselves in our lives is actually like what we're creating? So it comes a sense of that comes with a sense of responsibility for self. Like, okay, I'm really creating my pain and suffering. I'm really creating all this amazingness in my life. Wow. So, how much can we shift into self-love for everything that we are, everything we've ever created, everything that we've ever chosen for ourselves that is like so absolutely amazing. And also at the same time, like, what if we could actually start functioning from like, this isn't working and somehow I've created this, so I'm going to apply the Access Consciousness clearing statement and remove it with ease and grace. So like energy is always changing, and sometimes we get a little attached or like stuck to the past because we think like, oh, I'm like still obligated to all these like unconscious agreements that I once bought into somehow in some lifetime or some things, yada yada yada. So basically what we could do with like creating change in our life is apply the clearing statement. So basically the clearing statement again is good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And the clearing statement you can find on www.accessconsciousness.com. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And you'll see me on there. There's a page for facilitators. And it's really neat. There's actually facilitators all over the world. And this modality called Access Consciousness, it's the fastest growing movement of consciousness in the world. It's literally setting people free from all those places that we've been buying into the lack and limitation and sufferings and all that unconsciousness stuff that's not even real. How does it get any easier than this? So, what if you could be joyful all the time? What's it going to take for you to start practicing the bars all the time? Like, before I go to sleep, I ask my bars to activate. And I basically ask them to activate. And it's like every time that I let go of a limiting thought, feeling, or emotion, I'm setting 10,000 people free on the earth, because everything I let go of, it frees other people. So when we begin to realize the work we do on ourselves in our own spiritual evolution and how that creates such dynamic impacts in the world, like, wow. And so you also notice too, like, hey, the more energy you put into yourself, the more that you contribute to yourself, it's gonna, create dynamic change, and all of a sudden you're gonna like lift off, boom, like a rocket ship. And then people are gonna go, what happened to her? Or what happened to him? Or, what's going on? So that also creates a lot of separation as well. So what if separation no longer existed? And what if everything is total oneness? What would that be like? And what if we could all begin to really awaken ourselves to the truth of our own existence? And what if we could experience heaven on earth, right here, right now? What would that be like? What if everyone around you are angels, waking up to love? So begin to imagine what it would be like, and begin to experience what it would be like. Awakening heaven on earth, all around us, all the time. What if you could see everyone as you? What if everything around you is a reflection of you? What would that be like? And what if we could receive the blessings that are all around us, like all of these amazing angels, like Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel, who else is there? All of the archangels. Like, what if, Archangel Michael, sorry. I love you too. What if all these archangels are like all around us all the time, and they're literally like, hey, you have a body. Can you please use your body to create change in the world and to help others? And I mean, what if you could actually open up your receiving to receiving from all the angels? Like, what would that be like? What would it be like if you could receive the blessings all the time? And you could say, yes, I'm so deserving of receiving the blessings from heaven into my spirit, into my heart, into my beautiful angel wings, into my beautiful body of these amazing vibrational chakra systems. And what if I could activate my bars all the time? Like, what could be possible in the world? And like, how much could we begin to really create such dynamic impact and, truly influence one another? Like, what would that be like? So here's your invitation. Here is your invitation to consciousness. Here is your invitation to releasing all your judgments of yourself. So all your self-judgments, destroy and uncreate, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How does it get any easier than this, and what is possible now? So here's an invitation to experience more joy, more consciousness, more heart opening, more expansion, more oneness, more truth, more love, more joy, more happiness, more bliss. Call it all in. Call in your existence and totality of who you truly are, and experience the amazingness of you. Stop buying into all the lies and start really owning who you are as a powerful being in totality with ease and grace. And everything that doesn't allow it, destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How does it get any easier than this, and what is possible now? Okay, so let's learn some more of the tools of Reiki. So we first started off with Reiki as spiritual wisdom, R-E-I-K-I, spiritual wisdom. And then we also moved into our chakra system and doing a nice energetic clearing and cleansing, which I recommend to do this practice at least once a week. If you could do it every day, do it every day. When you wake up in the morning, you always want to like zip up your chakra system, as my sweet teacher and friend and student Ira Schneider out of Florida says. Zip up your chakras. And you also want to put an angelic coat of armor around your body, because you want your body to always just be so protected. So you don't want to put a block up around your heart. You want to have your heart open and expanded. But you want to actually have like a force field of diamond light energy. So imagine you're inside of a beautiful eggshell. Okay, and this is amazing protection that you can do for yourself. You can do it for your lovers. You could do it for your children. You could do it for your friends, anyone. So imagine you're inside of an eggshell, and then ask the eggshell to secrete or harden with diamonds. And okay, so secrete. So basically that's it. Once you speak something, it comes into existence, okay? So when you say activate angelic armor or activate diamond light armor, okay? So either one they're going to activate. So what is angelic armor? Angelic armor is imaginary liquid golden light, and literally imagine like, oh, hey, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, can you please pour the golden liquid light over the crown of my head and allow it to just like melt around my aura down to my feet, okay? And then you ask this angelic armor to secrete or harden, and you can literally put on like 20 coats of armor. So if you're like me, like I'm very like empathic and sensitive, so when I go into the world, it's like it's always great to just put on the angelic armor, because then you don't have to like constantly do the access clearing statement like return with love and consciousness or transmute. You could literally just allow the energy just to like bounce back. So that's kind of cool. Or if you like doing the energetic clearing work with like the waterfall, then you could also practice that. So why am I sharing all this with you today? Because these tools have changed my life. You know, I was in a place before where I was literally in bed, like bawling my eyes out, like, you know, so traumatized from like the military and like sexual rape and all these experiences in life that I literally thought like, ugh, I don't even want to be here anymore, you know? Like it was just so bad, like so painful. So I'm teaching today everything I've learned because I am just like fully equipped with so many tools of how to live an exuberantly joyful life, how to have everything that you'd like to have in your life and more, and to realize that there's enough for everybody existing on this planet. There are like literally, like for all you business people out there, there are investors for everyone. There's enough abundance for everybody. There's no such thing as lack and limitation. So what's it going to take for people to stop competing with one another in the world? What is it going to take for people to shift into this, you know, feminine model of collaboration where it's like, hey, I got extra. Here's some extra for you. Oh yeah, I got some extra, you know, food in my garden. Let me go ahead and share it, and let me just go ahead and then all of a sudden you get blessed by the, you know, the Holy Spirit or by God or by love or by bliss, and you're like, boom, all of a sudden you have more than enough, and you're overflowing with abundance. So what would it be like if we could start getting these practices and teaching out into the world where people could feel really inspired to like want to share more and give more, and not like function from so much like greed, like, oh, I have, $1 billion and I'm not going to even share $1 with Alicia. Um, you know, okay, I'm talking about Starbucks. I love you, Starbucks. Thank you for your sponsorship. I'm not going to talk bad about you. But it would be great if you could actually contribute more than the coffee. I'd really love that. Because I can't keep drinking coffee all the time. Like, Dr. Wayne Dyer says, coffee is only for coffee enema. It's for cleansing out the body. It's not really for, drinking all the time. Like, it's great for the brain and for the stimulation of the brain. But at the same time, yeah, like, I love you, Starbucks, and I appreciate your sponsorship. And I do like the new energy drink you have out. It's really awesome. And I'd love to be drinking it on the next TV episode. Okay, so let's move back into Reiki and abundance. Okay, so Reiki, spiritual wisdom. So I think, our aunts, and I'm going to stop thinking for a moment, but what I'm going to share is that our ancestors, they were programmed with things like the Great Depression. They were programmed with like so many like hard lessons to learn. And the truth is, like, once we hit that shift in 2012, boom, we don't have to learn any lessons anymore. It's like we ascended as like a humanity. Like, we've actually ascended into a consciousness where we can like literally choose way more for ourselves than we ever have. So like, why are we still living in the past and buying into all these lies about like scarcity and poverty? It's all a joke. Like, none of it's real. Wake up, everybody. Like, share the message. Let's all wake up together in like perfect love, trust, and abundance, in totality with ease and grace. And everything that doesn't allow it, guess what? Let's run the clearing statement. Destroy and uncreate. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what's going to happen is our bars are going to activate. The clearing statement is going to clear out all the old thoughts, feelings, emotions. Woo! That right there is called Kundalini Yoga. If you've never, or Kundalini energy. If you missed my first episode, I did a demonstration with my beautiful friend Shayna Joy and Anthony Menendez. We did Kundalini Yoga, Vinyasa Yoga, and Acro Yoga. So for the first episode, it was really cool. I got to really educate all you out there about the breath of fire and activating this energy, this dormant energy at the base of the spine. So basically, this Kundalini energy can be activated by calling upon a spiritual guide named Yogi Bhajan, who from the 60s, he started teaching this practice because what it does, it heals the body. It literally blasts through like any type of energy blockages in the body, as well as it brings upon these states of like ecstasy and happiness and bliss and joy. And you're literally just like overflowing with abundance of love and joy and happiness. So Kundalini Yoga, it came forth with basically a way for people to get off drugs and for them to experience like a natural high without having to choose to do drugs, which most of them are not legal. So the other thing too is that like in Access Consciousness, they'll share something like entities, and they'll say, drugs are not good because they actually bring upon like a lot of like dark energies and things that kind of like stick to you that are like do you ever notice like, the next day after like a bar, they say spirits for a reason, like alcohol, because like a lot of things like energies can like stick kind of to your spirit or whatever. So that's why like Reiki is so cool, because like instantly it's like you can clear and cleanse away your spirit, or you can clear away like anything that is not you, and you can like put up your energetic protection, clear your energy through your chakra system, activate your bars, you can activate your Kundalini energy, and you could just start really living a life full of like supreme bliss and joy. And don't get me wrong, like you're not going to exist like this every single moment. Like you're actually going to have experiences that are going to be like basically testing you to see, are you going to use your tools? It's like, in a way, it's like you got your hammer, you got your screwdriver, you got your tape measure, like you have like all these tools. So it's really like in life, it's like, you have an experience or a challenge, and it's like, what are you going to do with the challenge? You're going to apply the Access Consciousness questions. So, for example, like the question comes up, or the obstacle comes up. So what do you do? Okay, so you start asking questions. What else is possible? How does this get any easier? As an example, I was on tour for about 6 months teaching one-day Access Consciousness classes. And my first stop was in Chicago. And I remember I was being hosted by a guest, and the whole day he ignored me. He was like, oh, I have to be on a phone call with Deepak Chopra. And I said, really? But I just traveled all the way here from like California. And then I traveled all the way from Ohio to Chicago. And I really wanted to be like honored and respected. And so that whole day I was just feeling so sad. I was like, gosh, he's like ignoring me and like just honoring, Deepak. So I basically decided at that point to start asking questions like, what else is possible? What else can I create, generate, and institute beyond my wildest imagination and beyond? So as soon as I started asking the question, the possibilities started opening up. And all of a sudden, boom, I have an opportunity show up, and this woman who I met a few hours later was like, oh my gosh, I would love if you could live with me or stay with me, and I would love it, because she was just so much about this like energy of like contribution. And like all she really wanted to do was just like contribute. And like this dynamically shifted everything. It was like all of a sudden I'm like at this, boardroom table with like all of Warren Buffett's friends, and they're like, we want to hire you instead of Deepak Chopra and Oprah Winfrey to run your programs, which I'm sharing today, the Access Consciousness, the Reiki, and the Kundalini Yoga, through the Hilton hotels, and they own like 50 of them. So like all these amazing opportunities started showing up because I started asking questions. And I'm like, how am I sitting at a table with investors who want to launch this brand through 50 Hilton hotels? This is so amazing. And basically, I was on my way to Maui, so I was like, okay, I was on my way to Maui to work with Lemuria Maui. If you all know where that is, it's in Haiku. So I was committed to that, so that's where I ended up going after I led classes in New York City around the New Year's Eve, and was on like hip hop radio, stuff like that. So basically, when you start asking questions, it's going to change the energy for you. And you might feel like you're in a situation that feels so difficult. Like, okay, maybe you're like in a new place and you don't know where else to go, and it's like you had something set up. Boom, step into the energy of the question. What else is possible? How does it get any easier than this? What else can I choose? And, a lot of us, I think, are limited with money. It's like, as children, we have no concept of money. As children, we're these like creative, magical beings. And then we grow up, and it's like, boom, we have to have, real problems with, paying bills, paying our businesses. Some people lose their businesses. Some people, it becomes a real issue. And I think, there's a lot of problems because I remember I was at this one conference, and it was like the Millionaire Mentor. It was like something in San Diego. And I met this little girl in the bathroom, and she's like, my dad beats me because he has a lot of problems with money. And I was like, whoa, this isn't even real, Like, imagine if people could get out of this mentality of like suffering and like start functioning from love. Like, there's a lot of problems because people think that money is really an issue. And it's so real, too. It's existing within the earth. So let's destroy and uncreate it all. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And let's open up to like, okay, what gifts and services do we all have? Like, for example, I have studied massage. I've studied yoga, Reiki, all different types of things. And like each of us have a set of tools and gifts that we can literally, just bring into the world. So like, what if we could start functioning from a place of like, I could offer like an hour of like yoga lessons for an hour of like someone doing an oil change on my car or something like that. You know what I mean? So we can like start getting in this place of like contribution to one another, and really stop functioning from like lack and scarcity and like greed and money and control. blah, 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 pod and poc, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys and beyonds. How does it get any easier than this? What else is possible now? So yeah, what energy, space, and consciousness can we in our bodies be if we could actually get out of the lack and the limitation of money and how it's been like controlling us for so long? So what would that be like? And can we destroy and uncreate it all? I'm hearing a yes. Okay, cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So how much consciousness can we awaken within ourselves, in our lives? I remember this one time I was working with Dr. Dane here from Access Consciousness, and he was in the White House, and I'm like, how did he get into the White House? You know, I've been trying to get these teachings to Michelle and Barack Obama for so long because, you know, I want to really be a contribution to reducing the 23 suicides a day of military veterans and getting these, you know, implemented into the system. So basically, Dr. Dane here's in the White House, and then all of a sudden I'm in Chicago. I just happened to be next to like this big research institute where they do the access bars. And I started experiencing like living in a higher dimension. And it was like all of a sudden I felt like I was like in this like game. It was like a cartoon or like a game show, and like it was like I no longer judged things. Like when people would like whistle at me, you know, in the past I'd be like, oh my God, don't do that, you know, like stop hitting on me. And then now it's like when you're accessing a level of like everything is contribution, you're like, thank you. And then you send that contribution right back. It's like people are like literally, you know, on this earth, like we're all existing here. We're all living here. We're all here to contribute to one another dynamically. So when you can access like living in a higher state of consciousness, you can start to like function from like everything is contribution, you know? You stop judging things as like bad and wrong and like ugly and dark. It's like everything is like awesome, you know? It's like don't have a point of view about it. Just like receive it all. Like thank you so much for the amazing blessings and gifts. So when I'm in Chicago, I'm like connecting with Dane here. Oh, and then I'm connecting with Isa Love, who is this amazing Kundalini Yoga teacher who has been one of the biggest contributions in my life. And he literally is like also sending like amazing, he does, it's called Clear Light Attunement, which I'll share about today in the show. And he starts sending this like amazing energy, and I'm like, oh my God, wow. Like it was like, I was just existing in like a new world. And I was like, is this what Eckhart Tolle's been talking about with a new earth? Like, really? Like, oh my gosh. So it was like, as soon as I let go of the past, as soon as I let go of like all these places I've been aligning and agreeing with trying to fit into this reality, I began to like awaken to the infinite possibilities of living in a higher state of consciousness. And so like recently, I am on these conference calls with a gentleman named Dr. Jack out of the UK. He does daily conference calls. And he's like, oh, I'm accessing like 8th and 9th dimension. I'm like, really? Like, what is that? Like, that's awesome. And like, I mean, he's creating like whole new world systems for like, you know, how to be more efficient. And I'm like, I can't believe like how many people on this earth are waking up to consciousness. Like, how does it get any better than that? And like, how much can we all contribute to one another to like awaken our spirits and our souls to start like experiencing so much profound happiness and joy? Like, how does it get any easier than this? And like one thing I've noticed along the way is like the unconsciousness of this world, like it's begging for consciousness and it doesn't know how to ask. So it literally projects the pain and suffering at you. So don't take it offensively. Like, hey, maybe someone's projecting negativity at you. All you have to do is say, I return it all back with loving consciousness attached. Cool. How does it get any easier than this? So I wanted to talk about Isa Love, who is a Kundalini Yoga teacher who has been one of the biggest supporters for military veterans, and especially in my life, for helping me to heal from PTSD, which, by the way, I was never rated because I healed myself. Cool. And I think the cool thing about that is that I've reduced the medical bills for the VA by healing myself. And now I'm, you know, educating about Reiki, about Kundalini Yoga, and about access consciousness so that the military and the government, they can actually reduce their bills for the VA systems because people will start healing themselves. They will no longer be reliant upon the government funding for medical disability, because guess what? People are going to heal, and they're going to go out into the world and they're going to heal themselves. So the amazing part about this is that I've learned everything I'm teaching you right now on TV. I've learned all of this from my GI Bill. I went into the military. I studied my bachelor's with my TA. I studied full time for 4 years, got out of the military, and I studied my MBA, and I went and studied yoga, Reiki, access consciousness, all of this. And I became an honorary doctor through the Universal Life Church, spiritual healer, ordained minister. I have credentials upon credentials upon credentials, because the truth is that I was so determined to heal myself and to go into the world and be a voice and to give others permission to say, listen, you do not have to commit suicide. That is just so stupid. Come on, wake up, heal yourself, heal your life, clear your chakra system, learn Reiki. All you like military wives out there, learn these tools and teach them to your husbands, and so on and so forth. And everyone in the world, like, these tools are awesome. You can apply them in your business. You can like blast through your like limitations, and all of a sudden your sales can go through the roof. Like your creative energy, your Kundalini Yoga energy, it's like powerful, And when you embody the teachings of like Reiki, and you stop judging it and going like, oh, it's like woo woo or some weird stuff, like actually it's gonna help you make more money, so why don't you just choose it? Yeah, so basically, all these amazing tools of access consciousness and Reiki and Kundalini Yoga, these are the teachings that I endorse, and I just absolutely embrace, and I love, and I'm just so grateful to be in Hawaii and to be on this amazing production, just sharing live. I've come a very long way, and I am just so very proud of myself for being here right now and just sharing the teachings with all of you. And I just hope to change lives in the world. I hope that we can all start to really find deep self-love for ourselves, and we can begin to shine this love into the world and start creating powerful change. Things that aren't working, hey, let's change them, Let's not get stuck anymore in the past of like, okay, that used to work, but guess what? As Eckhart Tolle says, here and now, we got to choose what's actually going to work for us now. And what works for us now is, choice, possibility, infinite possibility, infinite potential. What if you could access the awareness? Like, one thing I've learned from Deepak Chopra is like he has these profound levels of awareness. It's like, my dear friend Tom Stone, who's a transcendental meditation teacher, they both have taught me it's like profound levels of awareness are truthfully like what is like the most amazing thing ever. It's like when you can access your own awareness of who you are and your truth, and you can function from that place, it's so amazing, because you no longer are listening to what everyone else is telling you. We're no longer these like robots that are like, okay, I have to only do what my parents tell me or my teachers or. And it's not to make any of that a wrongness. There's a greatness in all of it. But at the same time, it's like really know yourself and know who you are and know exactly who you are, what you came to do here in this lifetime, and start being the contribution that you truly be in more. So I'm really excited to be in Honolulu. And in Oahu. I hope to meet with Barack and Michelle Obama and start getting these teachings to them. I've really been working hard on, writing letters to the White House, meeting with senators in Congress. For the last 7 years, I've developed retreat centers, one in Lake Titicaca, Guatemala. It's a sustainable retreat center with permaculture farming and yoga teacher training programs, yoga retreats. And then we also have a retreat center in San Diego called Liberty Advance. LibertyAdvance.org is the website. And we have healing events happening there. And then here in Hawaii, I'm looking forward to starting a program with Hawaii Sea Life Park. We're intending to start a program with dolphins. And and partnering up with also Access Surf, which is happening right now on the island. So, so today I just shared some of the teachings, and then the next one I want to talk about comes from about a year ago. I spent 2 months in silence, which is called Vipassana meditation, and this was guided by spirit. And basically, what I did is I sat in silence at Liberty Advanced Retreat Center in San Diego, and I was blessed by ascended master teachers to receive attunements for the new earth. And I basically received the clear light attunement. And so this clear light attunement, basically, it comes through just kind of like the Reiki, but just right into your spirit, into your heart. And it really like clears and transforms your existence. The attunement is a process just like with Reiki or with Kundalini Yoga. It comes from a master teacher, and you could also just ask your guides and teachers to bring the blessings to you, or just ask for it if you have no idea what I'm talking about. So basically, the clear light attunement, it comes through, and it just like it brings almost like similar like what they what they share about Holy Spirit and the blessings of Jesus Christ. So you can experience this energy called clear light. And I recommend this for someone who maybe is not of the Christian descent or religion, maybe Buddhist or Taoist or Muslim. So basically, the clear light energy, or for anyone, really, it's like the clear light energy comes through, and it just like cleanses and clears your spirit and your soul. So this is a teaching that comes through as a part of education for the new earth. So how does it get any easier than this to receive all the new earth attunements with ease and grace? And what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to be the beacon of light, to transcend and transform all realities and all existences of everything existing in totality with ease and grace, into the power of supreme intelligence, into the power of supreme knowledge, of heaven on earth, of paradise within our spirits and our souls? What energy, space, and consciousness can we in our body be to actualize so much supreme love for ourselves, for one another? And how can we begin to start functioning from collaboration, community? How can we start sharing with one another? How can we begin to get out of this all these old programs of competition and fear and scarcity? That's not fun. Let's have fun together, people. Let's have fun together in life. Like, I remember when I first moved to Hawaii, I was like, oh my gosh, having so much fun on like the Wet and Wild water slides with my awesome film producer Michael Jordan. And I was like, hey, let's go on these water slides. Like, oh my gosh, like how much fun is it, how much fun can we have if we all start activating our childlike magical capacities to start creating our lives and start really having fun. One of my dear friends, an Access Consciousness facilitator, Ricky Williams, he has an amazing nonprofit called the Ricky Williams Foundation. And I'm hoping that he will join us here in Hawaii soon to partner up for the dolphin therapy program, because, wow, like how awesome is it to have a nonprofit for children where children can start learning these tools, It's like children are our future, and I'm just really excited to bring forth the knowledge of Access Consciousness and Reiki and Kundalini Yoga with the amazing dolphins and with other just like profound beings, Like Ricky Williams played in the NFL, and he was a Heisman Trophy winner, and I'm just so blessed that he has come into my life to collaborate with me and to be such a beacon of divine transformation. So look forward to some of my upcoming episodes of Mermaid Yoga TV, because we will be featuring some super awesome superstar celebrities and powerful influences in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up today. And I just want to thank all the viewers, all the listeners, all the fans out there for staying tuned in for this entire episode. I hope you can start practicing the tools of Kundalini Yoga, of the breath work, of Access Consciousness, of Reiki education, And just start really applying it to yourself and to those around you. And just remember, stay in the question. Get out of judgment, get out of fear, get out of contraction, get out of judgment, and shapeshift your reality. See what's possible and see how much fun you can have with this. And, how much joy can we be? How much happiness can we be? What energy, space, and consciousness can we and our bodies be to actualize living the most amazing lives ever? I'm just so blessed today to be here, and I just thank you all. Alicia McMichael, coming to you live from beautiful Hawaii. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, everybody.